creep in, because I just want to compare the darkness and the light. When there is a lot of light, then the inside of the house will be clear for you to see where you go. But if there's few lights or no light at all, it will be easy for you to bump here and there, because not enough light to see. It's the same as life. When we are not teaching or sharing what we are sharing today, then they will learn it from somebody else. They either learn it from peers, from their community, especially our young people. When they, girls when they go together, boys when they go together, they rub off one another. And if they are not
and they
careful,
share the information.
And if they are not careful, they can end up, while mom and dad is teaching something from home, in the school, they are part of the crowd doing
because you cannot control that crowd.
Because you cannot control. So the more you talk, there will be a conviction in you. There will be a conviction. So there is a two force that they fight. They fight all the time. And for us, that we know in the church, we know that exists. But the world, it's like everybody depend on their information, and everybody depend on their experience, and everybody, they just look at the stats that is out there, and like there's nothing that you can do. So you already give up. So it's a big challenge to us that we are watching. We are talking about a lot of things this morning. We start from health, and now we are talking on the social issues that are attacking. And I believe this is one of the big problems. Imagine what will Fiji looks like in 10 years' time if we are not addressing the issues that we are having now. Divorce rate skyrocketing, unwanted or teenage pregnancy, 1,000 plus. It's okay that they are still in school. That's a number. And HIV, more than 260% increase. Where will be our lovely nation in 10 to 20 years' time? The street dwellers, they are increasing, and they said more of children. So another 10 years, double, triple. So somebody has to share some light. So every stakeholders, everybody involved, the church, the government, the Vanua, communities, everybody that we must aware, and we must sing the same song, encouraging our young people, or putting out a light, that when they make the decision, because the decision is always theirs. So when they make the decision, at least we've done our part.
We've provided their information for them to be able to help them
to make
a decision. So youth, if you're listening today, I know sometimes you know, okay, what are they talking about? I love my drinks, I love my smoke, I love my club crowding. And you may be saying that today because we've lived our lives in the sense that we've seen as it begins, and now we are praying for couples, we pray for relationship, we are praying for marriages that tend to, doesn't work because of the wrong decision made. That could have been otherwise. And I continue to share this whenever I travel, whenever we do go on our events. Most will come and say, okay, can you pray over my son? Can you pray over my daughter? And this and that and that and that. They've started work, they're earning money, and then this is happening. And one thing that I always share to these few women, I always tell them, now they become a prime item. When they were growing up, we failed to sit them down and make them understand. Now we are trying to react to the problem that is happening, but we were not being proactive when they were growing up. And I want to share this for us people that go to church. We are churchgoers. Sometimes we get carried away with what's happening in church. We take our children, they may be sitting right next to you, they're listening to the same message, but you're so excited with the message, you're excited with the service. And after the service, do you ever ask yourself, what is your children's take of the whole thing that has happened? Because you need to gauge the development of your child, their maturity, and their understanding the Word of God. Because if not, you become the one that is growing, being mature, being excited, because you can understand what is coming your way, while your child is oblivious to the fact of the same message, but they're not getting anything. So they will not share that with you, but they do their own searching. They do their own, like what he said. You can't stop them from having their friends, the friends that they keep, knowledge that they gain, information that they have accessible to. And that becomes their own, So the child that continuously go to church doesn't make that child make the right decision when they grow up. I speak from experience because that happened to my life, that happened to my family. I have my eldest daughter. So all this time, because I tried to, with all the years that she was out of church, I tried to think out what went wrong, what I could have done to make it better. And at times I blame myself because I get carried away doing the things of God. I may be lagging her, or she may be part of everything that I was doing, but I never took the time to ask how deep her relationship is, or how well she understood what we were doing. I didn't ask that. And so I partly blame myself for that I should have. And then years back, then it becomes a prayer item for me. So I want to share this because it's my own finding. It's not proven, but it's my own finding that I want to share to other couples that are listening today, more so the women and more so the mothers, because we are always there for our children. If anybody running to the altar, is you, woman. If anybody that is crying, sending prayer requests, is you, woman. If anyone that is calling out to looking out for your children, is you, woman. So if you're going to church like I do, and you're lugging your children and they may be young, I try and find sometimes at home. And for me, the right time is your devotion. Just for them to say a Bible verse. Or make them understand from their own level the thing that you already know. Sometimes, for me, I assume things I know that my children automatically know. No, they don't know. So when they were growing up, I got myself, I don't know whether it's still out there, I will subscribe to the ministries, overseas ministries, and other vegetables. The vegetables, they are vegetables, tales of Bible stories, and the book stories, and movies. All these movies that are coming now, those are the movies that I try and get and make my children watch when they were growing up, so they know God's names in different ways. They know a lot of things, the stories of all the different stories in the Bible, of Moses, of Esther, of Abraham, of Jeremiah, of Jacob, a lot of Ruth. I get all those movies and I get my children to watch them growing up. So the knowledge they have now are the knowledge that they had acquired when they were growing up. So I would like to recommend or advise the women that are listening to me today, try and get this and access this kind of information that your children can watch. I like to do that for my grandchildren. What I did for my children, I didn't really do well for my grandchildren. I'm not perfect. The things that maybe because there were lesser things to do then, the ministry was very less, I had all the time for my children to see their development. But now, which I don't want to use an excuse, I blame myself. I could have made it. But I didn't do what I did to my children, to my grandchildren, for them to make sure to watch these movies, or for them to make sure that they know this. Not until now, when we talk about certain things, because I'm on the same level of discussion with my children, and then I hear my grandchildren say, what? What did you say? Where was that? And when they say those kind of questions, especially Joshua, then it made me realize the information that I have made available to my children, I didn't do that for my grandchildren, and that is my shortfall. And so I'm trying to fix that. And Joshua now is 18 years of age, so I don't really know how much he can take now. I try as much. So on Sundays, after our lunch, like I always share, we have movies like Barbie Doll or Barbie, and all those things for the different categories and different age groups of my grandchildren. And we try and watch stories in the Bible together. And as they have their questions, we are answering them straight away. We watch, we search in the YouTube, it's a lot out there. The Bible stories that we can read in the Bible, but you can't tell them, go and read your Bible. Because they don't know where to start, what to do, what story to read. But when you play something, it helps them to understand. And when they pick up the Bible, all those visuals that they watch come alive when they read the Bible. And that is what I'm trying to fix now, to try and, as much as possible, for them to do that. So, if you're listening to me today, for some of the parents who do not go to church, but yet your children manage to find friends that go to church, and they're joining a church, but you don't go to church. And sometimes you get angry. Why they go to church? Because you don't go to church. Look, if they're going to church, I would recommend, please support them. Let them be, and let them go to church. But only react if you know that they're going to clubs, or they're going to drinking parties, or they're going, you know, with the wrong friends, or they're hanging out. Then I believe that you should react. But when they're going to church, please support them. Because the things that we cannot provide at home, they can hear it from church, or they can hear it from somewhere, and that can help them, that can benefit them. And I know at times you don't like the church because you live your life, you don't like, some of you don't like us, you don't like our church because we you know, for us it's a yes and a yes, and a no is a no. So whether you like us or not, you know, that's beside the point. We're not bothered. But and then because of your perspective of the church, you stop your children from going to church. You hate anything that has to do with church. Just because you hear something that you don't like. But don't allow that to be a stumbling block for your children. Allow them, support them. And because the thing that we cannot offer at home, somebody else is doing. And you must embrace that. Because that knowledge you will never know. And when you see them praying before they eat, or praying before they go to school, you should be, you know, you should feel in your heart, you should be humble with the fact, oh, you know, I never used to do that when I go to school, but my children are doing it. And when they have their exam and they're coming to say, oh, we are fasting. I know you want to hit the roof because you have bought the groceries and you want to cook for them, and then they come to you and say, I'm not eating that, or I'm not eating, Mom, I am fasting. You know, it's like, where did you hear that from? What kind of thing that you're doing? And all those things that they're learning, you should say to yourself, and I am humble. The things that I never do, my children are doing. And all in all, is to benefit our children. We are on our way down to the grave on the number of years that we have to live. That we do not know. But as much as possible, we try and help our children because they are the future. I mean, whether we like it or not, the children that we're looking at now as children, they are our future. So as much as possible to whatever that we are helping them, the awareness, the positive vibes, the thing that we give them now, we are actually remaking their future.
We are handing over what we already gone through. So the inheritance that they receive depends on how well we hand over.
Yeah.
You know? We can be living good life, but do you hand over working hard, diligent, do the right thing? Are we handing over what makes us successful?
Yeah, moral values. Yeah.
Because if we don't hand over well, regardless of the life that we live, they will struggle again. It's like starting again from zero. Yeah. And that's why it's very important, the work at home, parents, and in the church. Because these are, to me, these are the two institutions that they build up character. You know, from home, most of the home, generally speaking, and from the church. They build up the inner person. The teaching that you can't receive from anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's from home and in the church.
Because we do a lot of teaching in the institution that fill up their brain.
Yes.
But to change their heart and make them mature, like what you said, a character, it comes from the teaching.
From home,
From the church. Yeah.
These are the two like organizations that like they have it, but the people they don't know that they have. I'm speaking for myself because we can be very successful in our academic or even in our workplace, but our character is not really up to par with the level of our like smart.
Yeah. But maybe because you will be the best person to share it, because you came from the village and you being exposed, you're very good academically, for you to share that because it's a reality, but yet, you know, you're hanging out with the thugs, you're fighting each other on the street, because I know the marks on your body, and you're doing all those things, but yet you're good academically.
Yeah. When I see Joshua, Carlos, Junior, they are 18.
Yeah.
At that 18, they are in the year 20. But in my days, they were no year 20. That's foundation in USP.
Yeah.
At that age, when I saw them this year, last year, at that age, I was...
You are in the world. You are an adult.
I was really in my character.
Yeah.
I was really down there, my character.
Yeah, that is why it's very good for you to share it, because if you have heard anything that could have helped,
Yeah, because
would
when
you
I,
have made a different?
yeah, of course. Because when I came from the village, I came with the teaching, the humbleness, what else, churching, and you introduce with the urban style.
Yeah.
And out of the urban, you put right into Gawia.
Yeah.
No, people, it's not the Gawia today. Today
Yeah.
it's really, the sports, the church, it's really changed then. But in those days, like nothing you learn is good.
Yeah.
You learn to fight, you learn to stand up, you learn to steal, you learn to grab and grab,
You learn all the wrong things.
to step a taxi and to throw stone at the police. Well, police are your enemies. So even though you are successful,
You're good academically,
academically, you're good.
but the decision making for your moral and your character was not very good.
Yeah, like inside of you, it's a really wild.
Yeah.
And sometimes even our scholarship at the University of the South Pacific were nearly terminated because of the drinking and the fighting. No, when I look at these boys here, doing the actions or going to church, worship, and I sat there as a Taltal. That's why I always ask our Taltal cousin.
Yeah. That is why we always have these issues when they come and say, oh, my son, my daughter, that. And that's one thing that we always tell the church, okay, just look at your age, look at their age, and you ask yourself, when you're exactly the same age as them, were you raising your hands praising God? Or were you doing other things? And if you're saying things about them that you cannot control them, or they are, beyond fixing, then the things that you do at their age, like what you're saying now, then you should make you grateful.
Yeah.
That even though it's not as bad.
Yeah, like you humble yourself and seeing Nathaniel, Joshua, and Carlos, Junior, and even Israel. My heart is really blessed because of the environment they live. And that's why I was saying from the beginning, for us not to keep our mouth shut.
Yeah, continue to say
Continue to say, because to me,
if somebody have said the word then in Gawia, or for you to go to church, but you never go to church all throughout your years. See? That's what happened. You come from the village, you go to church every Sunday, then you're being thrown into the light, and you see all the lights, and makes you forget Sunday. That would be the place for you to live.
When you go to the community, when you go to school, wherever you turn to, there is nothing that teach you to be good.
Yeah.
All the world, I'm talking about, all the world is pushing you to become macho, you become man, you can fight a person. It's a wrong teaching. No? It's a wrong concept of how to deal with the issue in front of you. Like to be a gentleman, to be patient, to be diligent, to be transparent. All these things. Even the transparency, do the thing right. You always try to do the shortcut. You want to edge a person next to you in whatever area. Even when you go to the sports field, you try to punch, you kick. You are not really doing what you're supposed to do. Wherever you go, you always try to do the wrong thing because you are in the wrong environment with the wrong people teaching the wrong thing. So that's why I said, to me, when I say for preaching, when I'm told to preach, when the Holy Spirit, I preach exactly because somebody out there wish, because when 40 years, minus 40 years from 60, if I could have heard or go to fellowship, like the Swiss they're doing now in school. Now I'm going to school. I'm going to teach sharing to teachers and school children. If only somebody pushes me, encourages me to attend the Swiss at that time, or Christian that time it's a Christian fellowship at that time. No, I was not. I was only exposed to methylated spirits, smoking, stealing, being thuggery. You can be a boy, a man, if you can drop somebody. All this wrong.
Very wrong.
Very, very wrong.
That's Very,
So
very
I'm on this side. I'm on this side of the fence,
Lord.
sharing to them. No, don't. That's why I'm encouraged when I go out to the street.
Yeah, because I mean, your message would be more relatable because you are trying to talk to a group of people, knowing like when you're talking to them, they will see,
Yeah.
you know.
Please go. Please don't go that way.
Yeah.
I came through them. Maybe my parents pray, and then I met a woman who
And I pray for you, lay hands on your forehead, sometimes want to smack your head, you know, like all this kind of stuff, right? Yeah, but it's amazing, the walk, the journey. And like what we said, we are not here to determine how you're going to run your life. We're just giving insights, little clips, and they can benefit you, they can help you. And with his stupor and all these things that he went through, when I met him and I got married, when we got married, man, he was earning a lot of money, insurance and stuff. Like his salary is right then silly. Mine was like $52, $48 a week. I'm good with that. I was working at the hotel. And when we finally got married, he came with his bank account of $14. $14. Imagine, he had a lot of money. Worked how many years? How old were you when you started work?
I was 18, 19.
19. So we got married when he was 22. He was 22 and I was 18. And from that 19 to 18 to what? 22. 18 to 22 for 4 years, he only had $14 in his account.
I was busy looking after
my
single
Lord.
men.
And so when we met, and the wrong positioning of their office, he was working in a control tower, and right underneath when you come down the steps, it's like Rapunzel, dropping up your hair, drop down your hair for this minister to come up, now they come down all the steps. And only to be met with Airport Club right next door. So whatever money that you earn, you dish it there. And Airport Club is right opposite the single staff quarters, SSQ. So it's just there. You wake up, you see it. You go to work, you see it. And that is why when we got married, $14, $14. Good investment. So that $14 we spoke, we talked. So I buy my ring, I buy his ring, I buy my ring for you to put the ring on my finger. Why are we sharing this? Because of that decision making, the information that, that is delayed information can lead you to what your life can become.
If you hear one of our senior pastors that was saved from gambling, because when I see those kind of things, I'm attracted to them because I was there.
Yeah.
When I see people fighting, gang fight, I want to be there. When I see people roaming the street, I want to be there to tell them I was there. It's not good. It's not good. Come this way.
Yeah.
And I believe because I do it from my heart. I don't want any parents.
I mean, you're just fortunate that you met me indirectly.
Praise the Lord.
That's it.
No,
because if not, because I always say, look,
God position.
Yeah, I
God
know.
position you.
Because if you haven't met me, you will be still up there in the mangroves, right in your village with somebody else. So pray about your life and trust, that God is in control. I know we want to minus God in a lot of ways,
but we can't.
And a lot of things, but you can't. At the end of the day, He becomes supreme and He reigns. Things that you cannot control, He can control it for you. Things that you don't have a say, He can do that for you. Things that you don't have the resources to make it happen, He can do that for you. I'm not here preaching, I'm just sharing.
I just want to encourage the people, even if your children are going through hard times, they can change.
Yes.
Even if your marriage is on the rocks, it can be better. I believe the creator of this universe put everything in place for a season. So wait for your season.
Yes.
And we believe whatever we share, we try our best. 7:30 table talk, we come down as low as possible to the level of the reality of life, the real life situation. And we are not trying to entice or try to hook you to go to church. No, in whatever church that you belong to, I believe all the church are created, placed there by God for somebody, and especially for us in Fiji. Most of us, we come, our grandmothers or our great-grandmothers, they are men and women of God. And we believe the challenge is still out there. See, the world is trying. There's a clip that is going on. I shared it 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago in one of our preaching. The things that are happening in the world, right around the world, that there's no explanation.
Yeah. It's a lot of fires, a lot of flooding, it's a lot of
And it's happening at the same time.
Yeah.
And even the blood in the rivers, the blood in the snow, unexplainable of dead fish that they are floating.
Yeah.
So all these things, because we can't remove the Bible.
Yeah.
It's all written in the Bible 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
That this thing will
Science.
It is science. So we encourage all the viewers. Thank you for being with us this morning, and not forgetting all the people in Lotoka,
Yes, thank you. To all the bakeries, all the taxi drivers, the service
all
stations, all the service providers. We are just so blessed.
From Lotoka, from Nawaki, from Buda,
Yeah.
Misiselo, Molombo, Sabeto, and those in Ba, Matawalu, all those areas, and the people around in Lotoka. We take this time as leaders of the ministry to say, big binawagalew of you turning away, believing in what we are doing, and we are so happy.
Yeah, we were also talking about the fact that we help the economy in a way.
Yeah.
You know, I would say that service station right opposite Nandoho Park, my congratulations. We must have hit a jackpot. With a lot of fuel and a lot of people running up and down for their snacks, and the taxi drivers, the Airbnb owners, thank you to the one that actually
The bakeries, all the bakeries.
Sashi Apartments, thank you, and your good husband, they came in for prayers. And yeah, the bakery, amazing. Lotoka, oh, they sell the best bread. I grew up in Lotoka, they sell the best bread. The kind of bread you just want to put butter and tony in your tea. And to have Lotoka run out of bread in the morning, that's huge. That's, you know, it's just the number of people that were there. That was there for that 1 week. So it's like a whirlwind. You know, Lotoka will be looking around and said, okay, what happened? You know, they've gone. And but we would like to thank you for sharing your city, sharing your town.
Yeah.
I grew up in Lotoka, went to Lotoka Fiji, now called Delama, primary school, and also Chespot. So I know all the streets. Like what my grandson said, he was at the back and we were going, I was telling my husband, okay, this way, that street, that street. And he spoke up from the back and said, oh, Nana, you know nearly all the streets here. How do you know? I said, Nana grew up here. You know, when you walk to school, and when you walk to school, you try and find the shortest way, and that's how you know all the streets, the Sukanevano Road, the Kamituni Street, the Karapuncha Road, all those roads, the Vombo Street, all the streets you know, because you look for the shortcut. Walk to school from Delana, then, Lotoka Fijian, and also to Jaspa. You find all those streets. And as we were driving, going with Auntie Anna, I said, Anna, turn this way. If you go this way, you end up here. You go this way, and then we always said with good luck. So I love Lotoka. And even though it's always known like that, it's very quiet ghost kind of town, but I think last week it became the city because the noise was created, crowd was there, and but we would like to thank you. But one thing that really bothered me was you people's hot scorching sun. We were roasted in the sun. Why? But I would prefer that than the rain.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was great. All of us came back with nice tent and burnt up, but it was good. And it was a school holidays as well, and we would like to thank all of you for sharing your city with us, and also to everybody that we have acknowledged on Sunday. And thank you yet again. So faithfully for the Youth Symposium in December, since we're talking about the youth, I would like to also extend an invitation. We will be putting up our posters and stuff, but it's going to be happening in December. The thing is, it's happening over the New Year, which means right on New Year's Eve, they will be there. Well, where else to be? Better to be there than out there.
Say goodbye and say hello.
Say hello to 2024. So if you have no plans for your children, they don't need to come in and join the camp. You can just bring them daily, drop them and pick them up in the evening. Meals and everything is provided when they are camping. And also for that 1 week, we are incorporating a lot of things that we are talking about today from the spiritual element, and also inviting speakers to talk to them that is more relatable to their age group and the issues that they face. So that's the invitation out. And also tomorrow, if you have nothing going, join us for the God Foundation program, and also the Plowing the Word at 8 o'clock, God Foundation at 10:30. Not forgetting in the afternoon, if you have nothing going at all, join us at the Carrier Stand at 3 o'clock. What are we doing? We're having a Thanksgiving service, and also pray over our children going back to school on Monday and Tuesday next week. So if you have nowhere to go, join us at the Carrier Stand in the afternoon, but in the morning it's all virtual because we will be changing from Rhode Island. Yeah, back to school Thanksgiving. So thank you once more, And thank you for joining us from all over the world. And we look forward, if you do not join us in the program tomorrow, see you again next Saturday
Australia.
on the Family Table Talk at 7:30 a.m. Yeah, we will be in Brisbane. We will be in Riverina in Brisbane. So if you live around the place, join us there. If you're not and you listen to us, join us virtually. Family Table Talk from Riverina in Brisbane, and we look forward to all our Australia NCF out there. We're looking forward to come and meet up and have a nice week long of just praising and exalting God. So thank you once again.